I'm not gonna cry. This is a really personal Q&A. Wow, okay. The tea is ready, the tea is hot. So I texted probably about 10 people and I asked them to ask me super deep questions. Juicy, very interesting questions. If you are just now watching me, my name is Jo. Welcome to my channel. I normally do like vlogs and super fun stuff like that. So if you want to see that, you should definitely subscribe. But today I wanted to do something a little crazy, which is the deep Q&A. So yeah. I'm honestly really nervous about these questions because I don't know, these are kind of deep. I am just gonna go for it. I actually wrote them all down in this little journal because I'm using my phone to film, and I spilled tea like all over the notebook, so that's a sign that we're spilling tea. All right, question number 1. Darkest thought you've ever had? Obviously, we all have a little bit of a crazy mind sometimes. This was the first thing that I thought of, and maybe it's not that dark, maybe it is, I don't really know. Whenever I'm mad at a friend or upset with a friend or whatever, I think of what my funeral speech would be to them. I know that sounds absolutely terrible, but let me just explain like the logic here. If I'm mad at, say, Billy Joe, and I'm like, man, I don't even want to be their friend anymore or whatever, I think of what I'd say at their funeral, and it makes me realize like, oh my gosh, I actually really do love this person. Like, I'm not that mad at them. It's fine. It sounds so weird and terrible, but I feel like it kind of just reminds me like it's not that big of a deal. I was really mad at one of my friends, and I was crying saying my speech in my head at her funeral. Like, my mind is weird. I've never done that before until like this year. I don't know. Okay, anyway. How do you feel about letting go of friendships that you knew were no longer good for you? If you've known me for a while, you've probably seen a lot of people come and go in my life. I want to start off by saying every single one of those friendships and all the moments that I had with those people are not moments I'd ever take back. As for letting them go when it happened, obviously some friendship breakups are kind of messier than others. It's just different for each friendship. How I go about letting toxic friendships go is by the time I let them go, I had already let them go in my head mentally. So it's not even that hard when they're physically leaving my life, because mentally I checked out a long time ago. I've definitely walked through a lot of friend breakups, unfortunately, especially after high school, but I feel like that's just kind of like what life is. You know, you just meet people and have great times and then you move on. I'm honestly grateful for every person that I am still friends with, every person that I'm not friends with anymore. I wish the best for literally all of them, and I feel like that is a great way to end a friendship. Whether it's reciprocated on the other side, it's good for your peace and your spirit to leave knowing that you still care about them and you still pray for them. I don't know what the other people are feeling about me, but I feel like all that matters at the end of the day is how you feel deep down about that person, and if there's any ounce of bitterness in your heart, you've got to clear it, you know, because it's just gonna grow and not be good for you. Biggest regret in life so far? My school decision right after high school. Right after high school, I was super comfortable living at home, super comfortable where I was serving, where I was working, the people I was with, and I did not want to leave at all. I actually skipped a grade in middle school, so all of my friends were a grade below me. So me staying in my hometown meant me staying with my friends, me staying with my family, literally just staying in this comfortable bubble that I was too scared to literally break out of. The decision not to go straight to the college that I'm at now has like been really detrimental school-wise. So yeah, I would definitely change my college decision right after high school. I regret that season so much. There's nothing from that season that I honestly like enjoyed. If I could just redo that whole thing, I totally would, in a heartbeat. It is what it is. What do you think is the most toxic thing in America, not racially or politically? I feel like this answer is something a lot of people would say, but it's definitely social media for me. Social media kind of freaks me out. Back in the day, I used to be super invested in social media, like just literally obsessed. Now I kind of don't really check it as much. I love posting. That's something that's probably never going to change. But as for watching other people do life and kind of, you know, create this highlight reel of their life, I don't really enjoy watching as much. I don't know, I feel like I'm completely different now and I love it, and I'm just doing social media because I want to do it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. What is your biggest insecurity? So I actually have become extremely confident, weirdly enough. I only say weirdly enough because my whole life I was super insecure. I'm honestly not a fan of this question because I'm like, I don't want to sit and think about like, oh, what's my biggest insecurity? I definitely struggle with my hair a little bit. I love my curls so much, but whenever I want to go out and look nice, I feel like I have to straighten my hair. There's so much variety in what I can do with my hair, so I feel like I need to learn just to embrace the ability to do that. I'm still trying to figure out the whole natural journey, natural curl routine. If you've watched my curly hair journey, it was a trip, terrible. So I am honestly just proud of myself to celebrate that I am slowly coming out of that insecurity. Was having sex for the first time all you thought it was, or was it disappointing? All right, here we go. What you all came for. I've never dated anybody before Zach, which is my current husband right now, and he's the same way. So me and him, I'd never kissed anybody, never dated anybody. We were each other's first everything. Me and Zach also decided to wait for marriage because that's just what we felt the Lord telling us to do. So we did wait till marriage. It was hard. I'm not gonna sit here and say we waited till marriage and it was amazing. Like, no, it was hard work. I lost my virginity on my honeymoon, so did he. And I didn't place high expectations on the first time. I was actually terrified. But honestly, my expectations were not high, so I feel like that helped a lot. My first time was super uncomfortable. Like, I felt so uncomfortable. Okay, let me not, like, I don't know how to word this to where it doesn't sound like, okay. It was super uncomfortable. It hurt really bad. And it took a while for me to actually like enjoy it. I'm honestly embarrassed to say that because I don't know anybody else's story. I don't know if people just hit it off and like feel great the first time and every time after, but I think I was just traumatized from the first time because it hurt so bad. I was like, is this what it's gonna feel like forever? Like, is there something wrong with me? Do you think you're a good friend? I think I'm a better friend just because in the past I was super uncomfortable with people who didn't do life the way I did. If I came across somebody who cursed regularly or smoked or drank, partied, whatever it was, I was super uncomfortable and they knew that. It was just super condescending energy around me. But back to the friend question, I want to say I think I'm a better friend than I was in the past. I wouldn't say I'm the best friend. Obviously, there's so many things I want to still grow and learn in, and I'm still trying to just be a friend to myself. I feel like the best quality that a friend can have is wanting to become a better friend. I definitely want to become a better friend. Do you have any regrets getting married early? Absolutely. Okay. Not in regards to Zach. I love Zach. He is definitely the man for me. One thing that I wish we could have just gotten over with before we got married was school. Being married while in school is actually really hard because you have to remember to prioritize each other and still date each other. That's the only regret I really have is just school. Like, it sucked. And I don't mean that in regards of like, oh, finishing school and getting your degree. I just mean school kind of getting in the way and having to, you know, like do school on a weekend where you could be having a super cute date. School sucks anyway, whether you're married or in a relationship, like you just want to get it over with. So yeah. When was the lowest point of your life and how did God deliver you from it? So this question is a little touchy just because I honestly feel like I just walked out of the lowest point in my life. The lowest moment for sure was this year during the Black Lives Matter chaos. It was the darkest I have ever felt. I felt like my eyes were just swollen for 3 months because I was crying every night. I'd never felt more alone. I'd never felt more confused. I do want to shout out my friend Natalie. That whole season, I felt like she was the only one who understood, and I'm not gonna cry. It was just crazy seeing the amount of people that you thought loved you kind of just not really care and kind of not really understand. It was a hard pill to swallow. I will say that whole movement was nothing new to me. Like, I had experienced all of that, you know, just hate for my color since I realized that there was hate for my color? Gosh, this is like a really heavy question. During the Black Lives Matter movement, as dark as it was, I don't think I'd want to take it back, because I have never been more in love with who I am after that, and I have never been more aware and more assertive of who I want in my life after that. Whoever loves you will seek to understand whether you're right or wrong, and will love you for who you are, and, you know, want to help you through whatever it is, whether they disagree with it or not. So I feel like that season was definitely the darkest season of my life. I'm good now. Obviously, there's still some scars, but I feel the confidence in the chains that came from that are gone now. It's like, I feel so free. I feel amazing. And I just feel really great about, you know, life and what's ahead. So yeah. These questions are heavy. Like, what the heck? Okay, anyway. How is it being in an interracial marriage in a time like 2020? To be honest, 2020 is very diverse. There's so many different relationships, and personally, I feel about like an 8 out of 10 a majority of the time being in an interracial marriage, just because it's already so widely accepted. Living in Atlanta, I never really got a whole lot of like weird vibes, because Atlanta is literally so diverse. And of course, we've gone out to restaurants and it's been super weird, like if a whole white family was staring at us and we knew exactly why. But usually when people stare at us, I like to think it's because they think we're like a high-end model couple, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's the couple from Vogue. Like, I honestly get a boost of confidence when people stare at us, because I'm like, yeah, that's right, like, we're gorgeous, we're gonna have gorgeous babies. I mean, literally, our kids are gonna be beautiful. Like, okay, I'm chilling. I am very happy that you watched this full video. If you did, make sure you please leave a like, share, comment, whatever it is you want to do. This was a good talk. I'm gonna go to bed, but I will see you guys later. I don't even know how to do a proper outro anymore.